Alrighty everyone, welcome back to my Give Me God of War walkthrough guide. In this one, there's going to be a lot of fighting to get out of Helheim, and then we are going to move on to making the key, which will be possibly, I think that we are able to finish this game within the next 4 episodes, probably, so then we can move on to Ragnarok. So that is pretty exciting. So there's gonna be a bunch of fights in this video. So there's this first one, which is very simple. It's just a shield enemy. So as you're seeing right here, getting my ass kicked. Not entirely sure what I was doing here. I honestly, I don't even know. There's no way for me to really explain what I was doing. There was literally one enemy and I lost half of my health. Not entirely sure what I was doing, but yeah, there's gonna be a lot of fighting in this one, so just be prepared. This is probably the hardest 40-minute stretch out of the entire game. Because of course Baldur is not super hard, and he's also not super easy. He's kind of like in the middle. He's like middle of the pack. Like there's some pretty easy things about him. There's some things that are hard sometimes, but it's not entirely too bad. Alrighty, so in this fight, you want to jump towards the floor, and then you want to jump back, and you will summon the enemies, and then you just want to kill the enemies that are back here, and then you just have to wait a little bit for the perfect moment, or you could just parry kill all of them. It's honestly up to you. I was just waiting for the perfect moment to go ahead and hit them. I do get hit here, obviously, but I am able to basically kill all of them when I get hit, but I will be getting my health back pretty quickly.
Was me. But we're gods. We can do whatever we want.
Turn away, boy.
That's what I said to your mother, right before I gave it to her.
It wasn't me. I couldn't have done that.
Do not dwell on those thoughts. Not here.
Yeah,
We must keep moving.
yeah.
Ed, what was that?
Not just the old and sick come to Helheim, so do the criminals. Hell must not draw a distinction between us and those whom these visions are meant to torture.
How do we stop it?
Escape Hell, as soon as possible.
I'm not gonna let it bother me. Like you said, Mimir, it was just an illusion. That wasn't me.
No. But it is who you have become of late.
I know I got us in. I'll get us out. Whatever I am.
I will get us out. You will follow orders.
But maybe that's not who I am.
It had better be. Now let me focus.
Alright, so now we come up to the Traveler. This is a... Oh, what's an easy way to say this? It's not like a super hard fight, but if you're at 1 HP like me, it could be a bit challenging. Now, I do not die on this part, but yeah, just keep in mind that if you are low, you are going to have to play this a little bit safer, but as long as you do the moves that I do, you should be able to kill him pretty quickly. So, as you're seeing here, all I did was I did the heavy runic blade attack as soon as it started, and then whenever he was doing this sword attack, I would do the light axe runic attack. You could save that, the light blade runic attack, you could save that for whenever you feel like you're going to get hit and you just want to tank a hit. And then you use Blessing of the Frost towards the middle of his health when he's at like 50% of his health. And that is the best way to basically kill him. And he will drop a Chaos Flame, I think it's called. Yeah, Chaos Flame, which will allow you to obviously upgrade the blade again, which will be your last blade upgrade. So you will now have the blades at max, and you will have the Leviathan axe at max, but you will not be able to find any dwarf or any blacksmith to upgrade your stuff right now. Not until after this video, basically at the end of Helheim. That's when you'll be able to upgrade the blades. So right here I'm getting a slight side mission item. You don't really have to grab it, it's just some hardened steel. I mean, I grab a bunch of them. You don't really need a ton of them, but I do have a ton of them. Because by the end, when the next time that I see a dwarf, I'm probably gonna super upgrade Atreus. I should be able to max him out with his best armor, and I'm pretty sure his best bow, since I have a lot of hack silver from this video. So that is fun. We will have Atreus maxed out, and he will do the most amount of damage that he can do. Which, honestly, other than Blessings of the Frost, Atreus would basically be the most overpowered character in this game. If Blessings of the Frost didn't exist, then he would have definitely been the most powerful, and honestly, fighting yourself wouldn't have even been worth it. Alright, I'm gonna stop rambling and we will move on to the next fight.
You had no right.
I had every right. I am your mother.
You had no right, witch. I can't taste. I can't smell. I can't even feel the temperature of this room. Feasting, drinking, women, it's all gone.
You will never
God.
have to feel pain again. Death has no power over you now. You would rather die?
Never feel again? Yes. Yes. I would rather die. Yes. Take it away, Mother.
I can't.
Please. Please. Please take it away.
It doesn't work like that. Son, just in time, you thank me. You thank me.
Come on. No. Yes. I won't. Come on. You ruined my life.
Honey, we can figure this out. I promise. Trust me. I know how to.
I can't fix it. Come on. Do it! Do it! Come on! Coward. I never want to see you again. Never.
Freya is his mother. Why did you keep this from us, Head?
Would you believe it slipped my mind?
I would not.
I'm at a loss. I assure you have no reason to keep such a thing a secret.
There's the boat. We will speak more of this soon.
Alrighty, so now we're gonna move on to this fight. Very simple, very simple. You want to grab these two Suiciders, just like that, and then you can just go to town on this guy before the other enemies spawn in. Now, I do get hit here and lose all my health. I seem to have a habit of doing that for actually the entire episode for some reason. Not entirely sure what was wrong with me. I just kept getting hit by some really dumb shit. Yeah, I don't really know what was happening, but I guess this was a one life challenge for this this part of the game, because I basically almost never had any health for the entirety of this this video. Not entirely sure why. I was just getting hit by some goofy moves. So for right here, as you see, there is 2 tanks, which I just use my rage on the one that's at the highest level, right here, and I also use it to get some of my health back. So yeah, this is a very easy fight. You can either stay far, which is most likely recommended. So just like use the heavy blade attack, which is R2, and just use that from far so that you don't get hit. And you could just keep doing that over and over if you need to, if you are struggling on these guys. You could wait for your runic attacks to recharge if you're running like a cooldown build or something. That could work. Now I am going to grab a Nornir chest, so you will see me grab all 3 of them. I'm not going to explain where they are. You should just... they're not hard to find. I mean, there's one inside the crate that you push. There's one when you climb up the wall. And then the last one is, I forget where the last one was. Oh yeah, the last one is just through the hole in the wall when you look to your left, so it's very simple to find, but you will see me find them, and I will cut out most of it just to show you where all 3 of them are, and that will be it. So right there is the first one. That is the one to the left that I was talking about, and then the rest are on top and in the box. Alright, this is a fight I feel like I don't have to explain, but I am still going to do it. So you just want to jump back. You want to grab one of the suiciders. So as you see right there, I got pretty lucky because Atreus hit him as soon as I tried to grab someone and it grabbed him. So I did get pretty lucky there, but it's just 3 enemies. You grab the 2 eyeballs and then you just kill the Hellwalker. Very simple. And now we will move on to the boat, which is probably the... it's got some pretty hard fights on it, so we are going to explain how to get through all of those.
She will do. Give me space to work.
What can I do?
You have done enough.
The sails are intact. We're moving.
Great. Just bear in mind this boat can only take us part of the way. Tyr's temple is near the top of a tremendous waterfall, which, sadly, we are downstream. That means even if we get there intact, we'd still need to sail up a waterfall somehow.
The Vanir built the greatest ship that ever was, and it can fly.
Skiflothnir? Yeah, because it was designed to fly. This was not.
Nevertheless, this is the boat we have. Commit to it.
On perhaps the biggest iceberg I've ever seen.
At least the fire's making heat. What now? Chopping it?
Give your father room.
So now the sails are loose?
Just watch.
Pulling the sails down? But how are they gonna catch the wind? We're floating! The heat from the fires! We're actually floating! And we're stuck.
Not for long. Stay with the boat.
Can't believe it. We just made a huge sky lantern. Our ship's lodged on this bridge. Shark can't help
I said stay on the boat.
staying on the boat. That did it!
Wait for me there. Atreus,
I can help?
together now.
We did it! We're free! We are going to get out of here.
Grace me, Father. It is time to end this.
Yes, my son. It is time.
No,
It's that voice again. Do you know who that is?
I do not know.
Iceberg!
Hold on!
Alrighty, so this is where the constant, non-stop fighting begins. So this is where it gets very challenging. So you do want to stay locked in and be ready for a very big fight. So for the start, it's just a couple of Hellwalkers, as you're seeing here. I'm just keeping them separated. so that I am allowed to attack them one by one. Make sure you do keep the two fire piles obviously on fire so that you do not fall and die. That can happen. There is rounds in between, obviously. You won't see those rounds in between here because I don't die on this part. So you won't really know when the saves are, but I will try to tell you when I think the saves are at, because I'm fairly certain I know where they are, but if I am wrong, then I do apologize for that. Alrighty, so you're gonna have to start with, if one of them go out, I recommend that you do focus on mainly getting it back up, which you will see me do a lot in this, because there is sometimes where if there's only one up, they will try and target the last one, and they will try to get you killed. They do have a habit of doing that. As you saw there, they instantly took out the opposite one. So you do have to keep in mind for that. Now right here, when these first, what are these called? The, I forgot what they're called. I'm having a brain fart. It doesn't really matter though, it's not the point. The point is, when that happens, you will get a checkpoint, I'm very certain. So that will be checkpoint number 1. And then you will have to fight off the tank and another bunch of these jumping enemies that like to jump on you. And I think these are the ones that freeze you. I'm not entirely sure though. I do get hit here, and obviously, as I've been saying, I have been losing basically all of my health throughout the entire video for some reason. Not entirely sure why, but you know, there you go. So you're gonna be spammed with a lot of these enemies. I would say don't really worry about them. Just go to a corner and get them one by one, because they can't really kill you, other than obviously if you run out of health and they kill you that way. But they cannot kill you by making the boat fall. So you don't really have to worry about that. And yeah, this is a very easy fight. This one right here is super easy. It's gonna start getting harder like the more you go on. So these are just like the base fights. They're not super bad. But I think as soon as the next checkpoint starts, I think that's when it starts to get hard. I'm pretty sure. I'm not entirely certain, but I'm pretty sure when the next checkpoint happens, that's when it starts getting like really hard, where you have to actually manage your health. You gotta manage the enemies. You gotta make sure that you don't fall. So it will get pretty hard. I'm not entirely sure why my game froze there. That wasn't just, you know, here. It did it for me too. It was weird. Alrighty, so now there are no enemies for now. So this is basically where you get a break, and this is also where your second checkpoint is. So this is where it's going to start to pick up on the difficulty here. So it's going to start off very easy for the first couple enemies, where they're just going to summon a couple enemies on top of the pillar. And then you will get this one enemy. And then once you kill him, it'll be another enemy on top of the pillar. And then after you kill this one, I'm pretty sure is when the enemies start to actually spawn in. So right here, I throw these two off. And as you see, almost instantly, they took the fire out off the bramble. So I used my heavy runic, because that heavy runic actually instantly sets it up to full blast. So if that ever happens and you feel like you're about to die, use your heavy runic to instantly set it on fire and have it at its max stage. So this is when it's going to get really hard, because a lot of them are going to be like level 4, level 5, you know. I mean, you've been dealing with this basically the entire game, but it can get challenging, because the higher level that they are, it's not about their health, it's more about they do more damage, and they get like the unblockable attacks, and it's all very annoying. So the best way to do this is to group them up and do the slam attack, and if you get Gift of Strength, that's even better, because the Gift of Strength is very powerful, which is exactly why I'm using the armor that I'm using, and I'm using all of the schematics that I am using. So as long as you, I mean, you probably don't need the armor. You basically just need, the gift of power is really good. So if you can get it to activate, you will be able to have a very fun time killing these enemies because they would stand basically no chance against you. And instead of them being overpowered, it's going to be you that is overpowered. So, yeah, so right here, I think this is where another checkpoint happens. I'm not entirely sure if that's true, but I am pretty sure that this is where the last checkpoint is. But don't quote me on that, of course, which we will see. It looks like no, it isn't. Oh, actually, I know this is not the last one. This is the third one. Once the other harpoons, that's what they're called, once the other harpoons come up, that'll be the third checkpoint, which will then spawn in 2 revenants, which is probably the hardest out of all of these. So that's going to be right after you kill all of these enemies and you clear this area. As you're seeing here, I have basically all of the area cleared. I just have like 4 or 5 enemies left that I just have to clear. And then that should trigger the next checkpoint. So we will find out right now. So, yep, there's the next checkpoint when the harpoons come in. That signifies the next checkpoint, so you will not have to worry after this. So this is where you can take a little break if you really wanted to. That's why these are here, is so that 1, you can take a break, and 2, there's a checkpoint. So this is where the revenants spawn, and this is probably the hardest part out of like all 4 of the fights, or all 5. So the first rev is not the hard one, but as you will see here, I do use my light runic, and I use my heavy runic on my axe to kill this first one. And then when the ice one spawns in, which will spawn behind you, this is the hardest one. So as you see here, I just run up to her, and I try to get as much hits off as I can before the blessings run out. Do watch out for the suiciders. So I use all the blessings, and then I use the rage to finish her off. And then after those 2 are dead, you can kill the suiciders. That is probably the best way to do this. You could try and kill the suiciders first if you want to. It's honestly up to preference. And if you don't have your runic attacks, you can hit restart from checkpoint, and obviously that'll give you them all back. So if you feel like you need to use them for this fight, you could just do that. So what you can do is you can save the blessings of the frost for the ice one, because she is obviously the hardest out of all of them. Well, not out of all of them, there's only 2 of them. She is the hardest out of the both of them, because she has more health, and she will teleport a lot more because she is one of the ice revenants. And now we will move on to what I'm pretty sure is the final fight of this place and of the video. So we will find out in a couple of seconds. Alright, so there's another one of these tank hellwalkers. They love to eat hits for some reason, not entirely sure why. So I do grab him here. Honestly, grabbing against these guys absolutely suck. I'm gonna be honest with you. It is terrible. I do not recommend grabbing any of them at all. Alrighty, so this actually isn't the end. So it's just gonna be, I guess it's gonna be the same as what it was in the second fight. So it's just gonna be a bunch of enemies just swarming you. Yeah, it is. It looks like... No, this is the end. It's just not, you know... Yeah, it is. It is the end. Alright. That's what I thought. So this is gonna be where the ogre spawns in. So you will have to watch out for him, but he will also be your main priority. Because once you stun the ogre, then that is when you can kill every other enemy. And once you get the ogre and you're able to jump on him, that basically signifies the end of this fight. So for the start of this, it's just fighting, and then the harpoons will come up. And then there's the ogre. I'm not entirely sure if you get a save on this part, but I cannot confirm nor deny if you get a save on this part. I don't think you do, but I obviously could be wrong. So, as you're seeing here, I'm just waiting for my Blessings of the Frost to come back to focus on the ogre. So I use my light attack, and then so if you throw your axe at his face a couple times, at some point it will stun him. So that is exactly what I was trying to do. I was trying to stun him. And as soon as my blessings came back, I did get hit here, but no problem with that. So I wanted to push the enemies back first, and then I started going to town on him. I got him down to where he could be stunned. I hit him a couple extra times. As soon as I saw the red, I jumped onto him, and that is when I killed every single enemy. And this ogre signifies the end of the fight. So after you kill this ogre, as long as you kill any enemy that spawns in after without dying, then you will be good. So they do try to spawn kill me here as soon as I end the animation, which is why I dodge instantly whenever I get out of an animation. So make sure you do that too, because they can sometimes try and hit you before you get out of the animation and perfectly time it, which would suck, especially with how close you are to the end now. Alrighty, so right here there is only 5 enemies left, and after you kill these, you are officially done with probably the hardest part in this game. So props to you, and that will be it. So I will see you in the next video, because there's actually no more fights in this video. The rest is just grabbing items, and there's a very important item to grab whenever we're off the boat, so you might want to stick around to see where that is. And yeah, that is about it, and I will see you in the next one. Also, a little reminder, make sure before you do start any extra waves, not extra, but any next waves, make sure that you do grab all the hack silver. Just keep that in mind. Alrighty, see you.
It is time, my son. Look around at what you have done.
Come on, we gotta go!
You saw.
There's no time, look! I have a plan! Jump!
That was your plan? You're both cracked!
We are leaving this realm. Now.
As long as we didn't wreck our way back. I think this is where Odin brought all his best clues about Jotunheim.
Unless it's Odin's. I'd recognize his atrocious taste anywhere.
Look at that! It's the missing panel about Tyr. Odin must have stolen it. But why?
He always has his reasons. Might I have a look? Well, this is most unexpected.
Why? What does it mean?
I haven't the foggiest. Isn't that unexpected?
Head.
Look, clearly that's Tyr. Traveling somehow. Perhaps magically. But what's that to do with the giants that they should devote a shrine to it? I'm afraid that is none too clear.
What are those runes in the corners?
Not runes. Symbols from different lands. They mean...
War.
Aye.
How do you...
This one I know too well.
Oh.
His eyes. They are jewels. Like yours.
No doubt signifying the gift of sight the giants granted us. Give me a closer look. Interesting. Very interesting.
What is that?
Secret plans concealed by Tyr so none could access but him, and those few others the giants trusted. And right under Odin's nose, ho ho ho! I did promise I'd get you to Jotunheim.
What do you mean, Head? You said we were out of options.
Don't you see, brother? Odin never gave up hope, and neither should we. He knew there was a clue in here, but we're the ones who found it. These plans are for a key to some chamber Tyr's kept hidden. I don't know where it's leading or what we'll find, but it's a path.
How do we make this key?
I suggest we ask a dwarf.
That symbol on the temple door. It's a bunch of runes together. Peace, unity, hope, other things too.
Tyr's own design. He made this door himself.